I think we can start now. So before starting the webinar, I just want to have a quick poll about the community platform integration with your AMS or CRM. It's a quick poll that I just want to know, like, how many of you think that. So let me launch this. Yes, it should be on your screen. So it says, do you think it's a good idea to integrate community portal with CRM or your AMS? I think we have got 100% results. Everyone agrees that community portal should be integrated with CRM and AMS. So that's great. Good to know. And we also think the same. So I think in this webinar, what we will try to do is try to understand what benefits we are going to achieve if we integrate our community platform, which is actually a platform for our users to interact and to learn. How will it actually impact our association's revenue and how we can actually capture the metrics to understand our members better. So let's get started on that. Uh, so what how do we bridge this gap, right? So we have always talked about multiple silo systems in our typical association management systems or association landscape or nonprofits landscape. Now, how do we actually bridge the gap between community portal and the CRM? So our first step is integrate, which is actually integration of your AMS or your CRM with your community portal. So first step is integration. Now what this integration will do is it will actually start flow of data between your community portal and your CRM or AMS so that everything that your members are talking or surfing on, liking on social posts, that gets started flowing into your CRM database or your Salesforce database or any other CRM that you are using. And when that data gets flowing and your members' data come into your CRM or your Salesforce is a very powerful tool to actually track your members through different tools. You can use dashboards to understand your members. And once you have understood and tracked your members, you can actually have benchmarks set for your members, like which are your active members, what they like, what they don't like. So you can have a particular benchmark on each and every of your member, and you can have metrics to speak about. And once you understand your members, I think then it is beneficial for your system to provide the relevant information or what they like, what they don't like. So in the subsequent slides, we can see how we can track and benchmark the metrics and see how we can better engage our members through this simple integration of community portal with our CRM. Now, what what does these community platform integration with the CRM provides, right? So these are two systems. Your community platform is something where your member community is engaging with other members. They are actually going to social media to like your posts. They are talking to each other, networking with each other. And different members have different permissions, right, based on your membership level. So, and all this information is actually stored in your CRM or AMS. Okay, so when you integrate these two platforms, what happens is so you have your AMS and CRM where your permissions are defined out here, right? And then when you integrate that community platform with your AMS and CRM, the data flows across the system, right? Which also helps in flowing of the permissions that you have set in this AMS CRM, right? Now, what happens when you actually set the permissions on the community platform, which are actually automatically set because you have integrated the two systems and the permissions that are there in your AMS and CRM actually flows into your community platform. So it saves your time, right? And the permissions that are set would actually help your members or prevent them from stumbling into irrelevant community spaces. So, as an example, uh, there are new job posts which are irrelevant to Justin. And who is Justin? Justin is a retired corporate worker who actually wants to learn about pension plans. Now, he is not interested in all these job posts that you are actually posting in because he's a retired corporate worker. He is not interested in that. He is more interested in pension plans. But since the permissions are not set in the community platform, they will receive irrelevant posts. So, what happens when you integrate? Your permissions from AMS and CRM here actually automatically get set into your community platform, and they know that Justin is a retired corporate worker. He does not need these job posts, and he won't stumble into spaces and forums that is not relevant to him, right? So that is how it helps. It actually then minimizes your workload with automatic permissions. You don't have to set permissions in community platform because you have already set that in AMS and CRM. And since it's one system now, those permissions are the same in both the platforms. And that helps you in preventing in sending unnecessary information to your members. The information will only be sent based on their taste and their membership level, like in this case of Justin, who does not want to receive new job posts. So it's a huge advantage. First, it saves time for you, and then secondly, it prevents unwanted information to flow to a person, which is obviously saving his time as well, and he can see relevant posts. Then what else? So once you have got your community portal integrated with your CRM, what happens? You log in into one system. So you log in into your community portal or you log in into your AMS system. Then you don't have to log in twice. So as soon as you log in into either of these systems, the second login, which is either your CRM or your AMS or your community portal, you get logged in automatically, which is obviously called single sign-on. So there are one credentials through which you log in, right? And that helps you a lot because you don't have to remember multiple passwords. So you don't have to remember the password for a community portal. You don't have to remember the password for your AMS or CRM. It's just one credential. You log in into multiple systems and keep on flowing your data between those two systems. So it's a seamless experience and it reduces your hassle, which is a very big advantage. And if I take myself as a user, I don't want to remember n number of passwords for n systems that I'm logging in. If I just have one password, it's a seamless experience, and I would prefer a system which just provides me one credential for logging into n systems. So that is a huge advantage. I think we have got one question here in between. Let's see what it is. Uh, so, what if Justin has a grandchild who is job hunting? Can Justin adjust his permissions to open that portal? Right. So, Justin cannot adjust his permissions. What he can actually do, he can actually ask the admin of the AMS or CRM system to set the permissions for his grandchild who is actually job hunting. And but for that, his grandchild should also be a member of, or if he is already a member, then obviously his permissions can be set and he can adjust his permissions to open that portal. But if he is not a member, then he cannot because that does not is not allowed because he is not a member of your existing community portal or your system. But if Justin wants to receive that email and forward it to his grandson, he can always do that. But only an admin can set his permissions. The permissions cannot be set by the user himself. Uh, Correct. So that answers the question. So that's fine. We have answered it. Please keep on posting your questions and I will just keep on checking it after every slide so that I can answer it then and there. So I think we have answered that question. Let's move on. Now, once, so we have got two advantages. We have got automatic permissions already flowing from your AMS and CRM to your community portal, which helps you in saving time and understanding your members better so that they don't see unwanted content. We have got single sign-on, and then we get a 360-degree, or your sales team or your marketing team gets a 360-degree view of your members. So how does that happen? So let's go to this workflow where imagine a marketing department sends emails to your members. So Matt receives the email and opens it. All right. And so when Matt has actually opened his email, sorry. So he can actually navigate to the community and he can start interacting with different members in the relevant forum. Now, once the networking starts, it obviously leads to increased engagement. And since all this activity that the user is doing on your association website, it's getting stored in your Salesforce CRM or your AMS. So what is happening is you are actually tracking the lead in your system. So when the leads are tracked in a system, the sales team, when they get the lead, they exactly know what type of emails the user was opening, what kind of social posts he was liking. So he gets the complete history of that lead, and it's easier for him to close that lead. So by integrating two systems, community portal and AMS or CRM, what you have done is you are actually getting a 360-degree view of members. Both the marketing team and sales team can collaborate together to understand the members better, and they don't have to talk to each other because the data is flowing between two systems. So they just rely on the system, and they can get all the information about the future prospect or the lead. And obviously, your marketing team understands the members better, so it's they can engage the members better by understanding what problems they are facing, what kind of content they are looking for, what kind of postings they are looking for, what is their likes, what are their dislikes. So it gives you a complete 360-degree view of your members. And once you get a 360-degree view of your members and you understand them better, it's easy to frame your marketing strategy based on that, plan your sales according to that, and it's an overall win-win situation for everyone. Now, what it also does is it actually increases your member loyalty to your system, right? We have taken a very specific example on showing how we can do that. So your members join your association and they have either a 6 month membership subscription or a 1 year membership subscription, right? And it comes for renewal. So renewal is a very important process for all associations because that is what tells whether your members are happy or not. So every association sends renewal notices, either 3 monthly or maybe 1 month before the renewal. So take an example of Alexis, a loyal association member, but he she has lapsed her dues payment. Right now, there can be n number of reasons why she has lapsed her dues payment. Now, how do you know that? So, if your community portal and your AMS and CRM is integrated, you will know that Alexis is actually actively networking uh, for employment, and she is currently unemployed and searching for a job, right? Because she's searching for a job, so she's searching for a job in the community portal, and since that data is flowing in your CRM, your AMS system will know that Alexis is actually searching for a job and is unemployed and does not have money to pay your bills. Now, since you know that, you can be more empathetic in your outreach. Uh, since you know she has been a loyal member, but due to certain unavoidable circumstances, she is not able to pay the dues, you can provide her a 3 month grace period right? Instead of a standard renewal notice, you can say that we give you a 3 month grace period since you are unemployed. And what you can also do is you can also help her in searching for a job, relevant job that she is searching through the community portal, right? With maybe the chances are very good that she might get a job because you post relevant job postings to her depending on her skill set, and she lands up a dream job. Now, your empathy towards her and your help towards her will inspire her for a lifetime loyalty, right? It's not one time, it could be lifetime, because she is indebted to you because you have helped her during her crisis and you have understood her, and you have not just sent her a renewal notice, standard renewal notice. You have empathized with her and helped her in finding her a job. So if you do that for your members, they are bound to stick to your system and become lifetime members. So that is a very, very great advantage that you can have if you start understanding your members. And that can only be done because you have got your integration done for your community portal and your AMS or CRM. If that integration was not there, what would have happened would be a different scenario where you would have sent Alexis a standard renewal notice, and since she was running into some issues, she might got frustrated with that renewal notice, and she might have just left the membership with some notices and left your membership forever. So what you have done through integration is earned a life loyal customer by helping them out. So it's very, very important to understand how your members are behaving in the system, what their needs are, what their advantages are, how are they engaged with your association. And if that is the kind of empathy and sympathy you can provide to your members at hard times, you will have life loyal customers. You don't need to do anything about it. So I think that is the best advantage, and that is only possible when you got the 360-degree view of the customer through the integration process. Now, once you have got these kind of information about your members, you can actually create a kind of metrics within the organization, right? So you know how active your members are in the community portal because you are getting that kind of data into your Salesforce CRM or your AMS, right? So with that data, what you can do is you can try to identify and streamline your members based on their activeness in your system. So you can segregate the members like you have defined. So this is just an example. You can have a different segregation if you want, but you can segregate and segment your members. So you can segment them as leaders, the most active members in the community portal. Significantly active, you can label them as contributors. Someone who is being active but not very insignificant. He can be a connector. Someone barely ever active can be a participant, and members with lowest or no engagement can be termed as a user. So what this segmentation will do is you will be able to identify and work upon the last three of the categories, which are either connector, participant, and user. So based on their activities, you can approach them and try to understand why are they not so engaged with the system? What is stopping them to engage, right? And by calling them or by sending them emails or by tracking their activities more and providing them the relevant content they are looking for, I think you can slowly move the ladder up for your users, participants, and connectors. And maybe make them connect contributors and leaders. So this way, what you will do is you climb the ladders for these users, you will have better engagement for your members, and you will be able to identify the needs of the members based on their activity. So that is what this integration provides, right? It aligns your strategy with goals. You will have certain goals, and you'll be able to identify and segment the members. You will be able to identify what to do with each kind of member, so that, and what strategy do we need to involve to connect with them. Like we were talking about Justin in our second slide, where he was a retired corporate worker, right? So you can identify what Justin is looking for. He is looking for pension plans, so you can provide him that kind of content, and you can engage that member and try to provide that content so that he participates on those kind of events, donates to you for those kind of events, and be an active member. So that can only happen if you are able to identify your members and segment them like you have done here. Now, once you have collected the metrics, like we have defined in the last slides, you can track your members through different reports and dashboards in your Salesforce CRM or your AMS system. Now, we have taken few examples of some dashboards which are really good and which will help you understand which are the kind of accounts that are active. So if you see in this kind of engagement dashboard, you can see the first one here. It shows you the person accounts with at least one community visit in the last 30 days. So as you can see, we have got 45% accounts with at least one community visit in the last 30 days, right? Now, what you need to bother about is why are the other 55% accounts not doing that, right? So you can focus your energy on engaging the left 55%. Similarly, here we have percent accounts with at least one community post in the last 30 days, and that is 24%, right? So what you need to understand is get a report, find out that remaining 76%, and work on that. So these kind of dashboards and reports will tell you how engaged your accounts or members are. Similarly, if you can see in this report, it's an activity-based detailed report of member engagement. You can see here first name. These are the first two columns, first name and last name. Talk about your members. These are their account names, right? And then their titles, and then you can see council memberships, events attended. These are the type of activities they are actually participating, right? So surveys taken one, then Amir Ali, he has not done anything. Activity zero. Then we have Aaron, who has actually attended one event. So you can see the number of activities your members are engaged in, right? The more number of activities they are engaged in, the more active your members are, and the more uh, chances of their renewal are, right? So you can see if they are not engaged in any kind of activities, you need to work on them. Like Adam, if you can see row number 11, he has, I think he has participated in 3 activities, but Adamer, he has not participated. So you need to work on those members who have not participated in any kind of activities, right? So this can only happen if you pull these kind of dashboards and reports so that you are able to understand what members are participating, what members are not participating. Similarly, this is a dashboard for engagement by category and engagement by month. As you can see in the last slides, we talked about leaders, contributors, connectors, participants, and users. So here we have segmented that. So if you can see, there are 440 leaders in your system, who that means they are the highest engaged members. Then you have 775 contributors, 1264 connectors, 257 participants, but a huge amount of them, which is 1636 members, who are just users. That means they are barely using the system. And what you can do is go to those users and try to help them understand what they need, what they don't need, and make them either participants or connectors. Right. Similarly, you can have engagement by month. So if you can see, in December you had the highest engagement, and then February, March, April, May. So you need to understand what happened between January 16 to May 16, that there was no engagement by members at all. Was it something that we were not doing any kind of marketing at that point of time, or there were no events, there were no charity stuff that we were doing. So we need to understand that period in which there was no activity, and we should understand what happened in December 2015 that actually spiked that engagement. So we need these kind of analytics will help you understand what happened and what we need to do. So we needed to do something similar that we did in December 2015, which spiked that engagement, which didn't happen from January to May. So we need to understand all these kind of analytics, and then only we can align our goals in terms of marketing strategy, in terms of our sales goals. Similarly, here you have differentiation based on type of your members. So your members can be associate members, company members, non-members, regular members, retired members. So if you can see here, right, your retired members engagement score is just 1, right? Then student member is just 7. So if you see this data, what you need to focus on is more on the retired members and the student members. So why are retired members and student members not engaged with your systems? What is stopping them from engaging? Are we not providing them right a kind of content? We should. So we should just watch and see like what we need to pull these two categories to the level where regular members are or associate members are. So I think these are the kind of things that we need to do to actually gain traction of our members. Maybe start scoring them, use different tools to understand them, and engage them so that they are able to interact with your system. Because in this, we are able to see that your retired members need to be focused upon. Similarly, your student members need to be focused upon. So I think we have talked about the advantages. It gives a 360-degree view. It gives you a seamless member experience, right? So I think all these uh, metrics actually impacts your revenue, because the more you engage your members, the better they are connected to your system, the better chances you have for renewals. And if your member is engaged, it's word of mouth that they will ask other members within their network through community portal to engage with your association. So it's more of an internal sales that you can do when you are engaged with your members. So obviously, you will have better customer relationships because you understand them, like in the case of Alexis, where you actually helped her in getting a job, and then she became a lifetime member for you. With single sign-on, you will have a seamless member experience because people don't have to remember passwords. People want a system which is simple to use. They don't have to remember anything. So if you are able to have an integration with a single sign-on, it will have a seamless member experience. And since we in integration, we will have a 360-degree of view of the customer. So your different sales team, finance team, marketing team can come together because the data is shared between different systems, and that can actually help you in your enhancing your team performance. And since you are able to understand your members better, you are able to understand what is working from them, what is not working from them, and you are able to understand what they need. You will be able to provide a better member support for them. And since all this will actually automate the processes, like we saw in terms in the first slide, that the permissions get automatically transferred from the AMS and CRM to the community portal. Obviously, it saves time for your members, it saves time for your team. And if you can have a better strategy to understand your members, you can put in less efforts and achieve more, which will actually result in cost reduction. So all these things are just related to integration, which is a simple step to do, and you can get numerous benefits out of it. I think if you have a community portal which is not integrated with your AMS or CRM, we suggest that you integrate it, and so that you have one view of your members. You can understand them better, track them through your dashboards and reports, and it will help your internal team to form better strategies for your members, reduce their time, reduce your members' time. Your members will be able to connect with your system better because they will have a seamless member experience. They will feel more empathized and sympathized because of the activities that you're going to do for them in terms of uh, understanding them, in terms of understanding what they need, in understanding of what content they need, what help they need, and that would actually help you obviously automatically retain your existing customers for a lifetime and help your sales team to increase more sales. So I think this is a great platform, uh, and if you are concerned about how do we actually integrate our community portal with either Salesforce CRM or Fontiva AMS or Salsa CRM, any kind of CRM or AMS. It's an easy process to do. We at Aplusify have a great team here who actually have helped a lot of clients to achieve that. So in case you need any guidance or any kind of help that you are looking for, we are there to help you out. You can actually call us at 888-683-8281, or you can mail us at vcare@plusify.com. So I think this is what we have for today's presentation. Uh, it was just to make you aware what benefits you can get by integrating two great systems that you are already using. I think most of the associations use Community Portal and most of the associations use either CRM or AMS or both. So it's always essential and recommended to integrate those two systems. And for all the ones who have participated, a big thank you to participate and attend this webinar. You will receive this recording and the presentation that we have done. I think before we wrap this up, let me see if anyone has any more questions uh, that can be answered. I don't think we have any more questions now. So thank you so much for attending the webinar. It was a pleasure, and please feel free to contact us for any guidance that you need. We at Aplusify hold these educational webinars regularly. Our next webinar is on Salsa Salesforce integration on 27th of October. If you want to attend, you will receive those emails. So please feel free to email us at vcare@aplusify.com for any help that and guidance you require in terms of integration with AMS or your CRM for community portal. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye bye.